Hello, I am Amanda Warfield. I am a simplicity focused content marketing strategist and copywriter, and I go live here on my channel every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time to help course creators simplify their marketing so that they can make a larger impact in less time. And I would love to know, do you struggle with feeling like your content is getting boring? Like you're saying the same thing over and over again, and frankly, you wonder if you're doing yourself a disservice by not keeping things fresh. If that is something you struggle with, I would love to know in the comments. Let me know if that is something that you can relate to, or if that's not something that, bothers you at all when it comes to your marketing. But while I wait to see if anyone is here and lets me know if that's relatable in the chat, I know that I actually hear this all the time from clients, and it's not something that I struggle with at the very beginning of my business, but once I really started to understand marketing, I didn't struggle with it all that much, mostly because I'm an Enneagram 1 and my brain likes repetition. But I know that a lot of people struggle with this struggle of, well, I feel like I'm just being really repetitive. I feel like my audience is bored. I feel like I'm bored. And this is something that is really, really common. So if you can relate to this, you are not the only one. And so I want to talk about keeping your content fresh because it's actually a good thing to be a broken record. That's actually what we want, is we want your content to kind of sound like a broken record. We want it to be the same thing over and over and over again. And that's because when we say the same things over and over again, when we're broken records when it comes to our marketing, that is when we connect people with their areas of expertise. So if you're hopping around from topic to topic to topic to topic, people aren't going to know what it is that you do and how you can help them. But if you're saying the same thing over and over and over again, they're going to go, oh, yeah, this person connect to this. Oh, yeah, Amanda Warfield, she helps with marketing strategy. Oh, yeah. Let's see, I'm trying to think of like a big name. Amy Porterfield, also marketing strategy. Marie Forleo, motivation. Natalie Frank, community, right? Like there are these names that we know, oh, this person does this, and this is what I can connect them with. And then when someone says they need that thing, you go, oh, you need this person. Oh, you need this person that does ads. Oh, you need this person that does um, membership setup or ClickUp setup or whatever the case may be. Talk about something, and the more you're a broken record, the more that you're going to be connected in that way. You're going to be that expert in someone's mind. But I know that that can feel stifling for a lot of entrepreneurs, right? Um, we can feel like we're bored with our marketing, and we can feel like, but I know so much. I want to share all the things that I know. And here's the thing. One, if you're bored with your marketing, too bad. Um, kind of just blunt there, but too bad. Your marketing is not for you. It is for your audience. And so if you're bored, it doesn't matter. It matters what they need, not what you need. That being said, all of those great things you have to offer, you pour those into your students, to your clients. Those are the things that you help your clients do, that you pour into your membership, pour into your courses. For example, my clients work with me for content marketing strategy and copywriting. But what they really get out of working with me is so much more than that, because, yeah, we're working on strategy for marketing, but that also kind of leads into business strategy. And inevitably, there are mindset issues. And what we end up doing with our one on one clients is a much bigger reach than what we're just saying we're doing with them. And it's not that it's a bait and switch, it just naturally, because all of these different aspects of business, they overlap. Naturally, our skills are going to overlap in that way too, and we can kind of help and guide in those ways as well. And so if you feel like, but I have so much to offer, I want to be a multi-passionate entrepreneur, blah, 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 blah. It's not that you can't be, it's just that those skills need to come out in different ways. It's also a great thing for, going out in the networking communities and you can share things and talk with others and just getting to build community. That's a great way to kind of get to dive into those other things that you love. But when it comes to your marketing, you've got to be a broken record and you should be bored. But the more you talk about something, the more likely people are to see you as that expert. And this is also really important when it comes to marketing, content marketing in particular, because people see such a small fraction of what you're posting with your content. So let's say we all know that like someone has to see you tell them to take action on something 7 to 10 times before they do it, right? If we don't know that, that is just a general kind of marketing thing. I'm not actually sure it's accurate anymore. It might even be higher than that at this point. But that's kind of a general marketing rule of thumb is someone's got to see it 7 to 10 times in 7 to 10 different ways before they'll take action on it. So you have to talk about your offer 7 to 10 different times before someone's going to actually take action. That's the average, at least. When you talk about one specific thing, you've got to ask yourself, have I talked about it 7 to 10 different times? If the answer is no, that's a real quick, you've not talked about it enough. But even if the answer is yes, you also need to consider the fact that if you've talked about it 7 to 10 different times, no one has seen all 7 to 10 of those times. They've seen a fraction of that. And because we see such a small fraction of what anyone puts out on social media or within their content, that means you need to talk about it 10 times that number. So you need to talk about it 70 to 100 times before someone is going to take action on it. And then you've got to think about the fact that people find you in different capacities in different ways. And they're going to, maybe someone found you when you've talked about it on the 50th time and there were only 50 or 20 to 50 ways that you've talked about it in, right? Even if they saw everything. And so just because you've talked about something a lot doesn't mean that people have seen it a lot. And if they haven't seen it a lot, they can't connect you as the expert yet, right? And so when it comes to being bored with your marketing, it's not for you. It doesn't matter if you're bored. But also, you've got to think about how many times do I actually need to talk about this before people are seeing it? And that doesn't mean send 50 emails or anything like that about one specific thing. That just means you can create 50 to 100 different touch points throughout all of your content and really keep sending people back to that content that you've created, those ideas that you're sharing. That being said, you can be a broken record and you can talk about the same thing over and over again without repeating yourself verbatim. And this is where we can really bring our creativity in and keep it fresh for ourselves and potentially for your clients. It keeps it fresh for them or your audience. It keeps it fresh for them, but it also different ways you say things can connect with people in a different way. Like, have you ever watched a TV show or a movie and you've rewatched it and then you see something new or something hits differently that time? It's the same thing with your content. So even if someone has heard you talk about the same topic, if you just say it in a little different way, they may get it differently. Or on the flip side of that, they may not have been in a place where they were ready to get it yet, and now they are, and now it clicks. So you want to make sure that you're keeping it fresh while still talking about the same things. And the best way to do that, I actually have these questions inside of the Chasing Simple um, content planner. At the beginning of every single month, when you do your prep work inside of the content planner, there are a few questions that I always encourage my students, my clients to sit down with, and anyone who's bought the planner knows this. This is in the prep work for every single month. So we've got, within the prep work, we've got business goals. There's questions about your business goals. There's questions about repurposing, but then there's also a couple questions about messaging. So I'm actually going to read those out to you right now. So the first is, what is currently affecting your niche? For example, maybe it is November and your audience is feeling really burnt out and they're just ready for a break. What's currently affecting them? What is going on in the sphere of your clients? As I'm recording this right now, it's summer. So anyone who is a mom right now or a parent in general, they are their minds are split, right? They've kind of got their mind at work, but they've also got their mind at home with their kids, and they're figuring out, even if they don't work in the online space, even if they work a typical 9 to 5, they're trying to piece together childcare for the summer and camps and conferences and all these things for their kids, right? And so that's something that's currently affecting your niche if you have parents in your niche, right? Then you want to ask, what is happening in current events and pop culture right now? Just a few off the top of my head that I can think of. Justin Timberlake's arrest, that's going viral right now. And the fact that the cop didn't know who he was because the cop was so young, which hurts my soul, but it's fine. That's something that's going viral. Taylor Swift having Travis on stage at the Eras tour, which like I can't right now. But even if you're not a Swiftie, you've probably seen people talking about that because it's it's a huge pop culture moment that Swiftie fans are like, wait, what's happening? This is not a thing that she does, right? So those are just a couple like really quick off the top of my head. These are pop culture things that are happening right now. Um, the next thing, what does your audience need to hear from you this month? And so this kind of relates back to that first question, like, what do they need to hear from you? And what are they struggling with? And then the final question is, how can you serve your audience this month? So if these are the things they're struggling with, these are the things they need to hear from you, how can you serve them well? How can you take that and serve them well? And then you want to take all of your answers to this and look at it through the lens of whatever you're marketing currently. And so if you know, business goals was again one of those things that I mentioned. I've got a whole bunch of questions about business goals that I walk people with the planner through. Um, but you take those goals, and let's say you're in the midst of pre-launching a certain offer. So, okay, within that offer, what's your messaging around that offer? And how can you take that messaging and look at it and recreate it through the lens of those four questions I just asked. So, how can you talk about that thing and maybe use a meme from the Justin Timberlake's DUI or from having Travis on stage? Like, how can you take pop culture moments and look at that messaging and kind of give them a spin that just is eye-catching and funny? How can you look at it through the things that your audience is struggling with right now? So you can take that general messaging and then really gear it specifically towards what they're struggling with right now and what they need from you right now. And so that's just four questions you can ask yourself to take what you've always like, that broken record aspect of I always talk about this, I always talk about this, I always talk about this, and give it just a quick twist to make it feel a little fresh, even though it's something that you've talked about 100 times, 200 times, and you feel bored with it. This can help your boredom, and it can also help it connect with your audience as well in a different or new way. So, that being said, just a quick recap. If you feel like a broken record, that's actually a really good thing. If you are bored with your content, too bad, because we want you to be a broken record so that your audience can connect you as an expert with that idea. And you can keep things a little fresh for yourself by asking yourself those four questions. What is your audience currently struggling with right now? What's happening in pop culture and in current events currently in this moment in time? What does your audience need to hear from you right now? And how can you serve your audience well this month? So, if you ask yourself those four questions, take the messaging that you feel like is just a broken record and so boring, mash them together. That's going to help you keep your marketing fresh while still submitting yourself as the expert in whatever it is that you talk about and whatever it is that you're offering your audience. So, if you have any questions about messaging and marketing, I would love to answer them. You can drop them in the comments below and I'll come back and answer them for you. Messaging is something that I really love talking about. And it's something that I'm not a broken record enough about. So I would love your questions. And I will go back and answer any questions that you have. And then maybe it'll inspire a whole new episode about messaging. If you like this video, please be sure to hit subscribe, give it a like. I would love to know, I don't know, anyways, a backwards check when I have it on this. Give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will be back here next week, same time, same place. See ya.